Greetings, commanders, and welcome back to another Warpath video. My name is Eagle, and we're back again with another officer highlight video. This video, we're going to be featuring Rictus Reaper, and as you can see, this officer is already maxed out. And before we start this video, we always say this disclaimer: this is a test server, this is not a live one. We can play around with officers, max them out, and do all kind of tests and combat tests over here. So this server has been given us through Lilith, and in order to test out new officers in new updates, and get to provide to you guys this amazing content before even unlocking this update as well. In this officer right now, this is a bomber officer actually, and this is like a brand new one that has been added lately to the game. The way that you can actually unlock this officer is through exclusive lounge. We all know, we have experience with exclusive lounge officers, that they are extremely powerful. So we're going to be testing out this officer right now in this kind of video and see if they actually can outperform and kind of test out what is the best combo for this officer. Because certainly there's a lot of things that we need to try out and a lot of pairings that we can do in order to see which kind of pairing that this officer shines with. And in this video, we're going to be displaying two of these pairings actually. The first one is going to be Rictus with Golden Pixie, and the second one is going to be Rictus with El Cartero, which is basically the two bomber officers that we currently have right now. It's definitely going to be interesting to try them with Brisk Eagle, especially because of the eagle in the name. I'm just kidding. So this officer is actually pretty well and does really a good job with bombers. So hey, maybe this officer is going to actually perform really well with Rictus. We're definitely going to be doing a live stream about trying out different officer combos and seeing if these officer combos actually perform better. We're going to be doing this live stream actually very soon, so if you guys are excited to know exactly when that's happening, maybe hit the subscribe button down there so that you would get notified when that happens. Now, without further ado, let's get right into this video. Alright, so the first thing we're going to start with is Rictus basically skills. So his first skill over here, whenever there's a bomber or a bombing completed, there's a damage increase for the officer's troop by 18%, and this stacks up to 5 times, meaning that the first time you finish a bombing, as you know, bombing has stages, and we're going to actually display that in a bit, and whenever there's a next stage, you're going to be dealing more damage in the next stage. Technically speaking, the longer that this officer does bombings in the battle, the more damage that you'll be able to deal in further bombings. And this stacks up to 5 times. And remember, bombings themselves do 4 times of bombings, but there's a skill on Golden Pixie, which when you max her out, you'll be able to perform one extra bombing after you perform 4 bombings. And that's why this skill actually stacks up to 5 times. And this is actually a very good pairing. That's why I thought that this pairing would actually work really well with Pixie. So we're going to be trying them both out together. Now this one over here increases the firepower of this officer's bomber by 30% when maxed out, which is a massive percentage. And this one over here reduces the damage resist by 15%. This is always good, especially when it comes to bombers. As we know, there's a lot of fighter planes going on. So hey, a little bit of a damage resist buff is doesn't hurt anybody in the skies. This one is very interesting. This is a very high survivability skill, and the way that this works is that when you kill an enemy unit, there's a 40% chance you're gonna be healing for a coefficient of 500 when it's maxed out. Now this is a very important skill, and the chance of this is actually very high. So when you're actually actively killing enemy units, you'll be able to also heal while you're doing some damage resist with this skill as well. This is a very interesting one, and it's definitely looking forward to actually try this out whenever we are fighting. And of course, when you max this officer out, he has this massive passive skill that basically after you complete a bombing, this officer drops an additional bomb that deals massive damage, 2500 damage coefficient to be precise, which is insane. I've never seen this damage coefficient before, and it does 20 less damage to each additional target. So that means each additional target, if you're using, like for instance, a bomber, a Liberty bomber that does area of damage bombing, then you'll be able to deal less damage to the surrounding targets in the area, but it's still massive amounts of damage. And increasing its patrol speed by 20%, which means that once you finish a bombing, you'll be able to drop this massive kind of nuke over there and then roll back to the base much faster for 10 seconds. Now this really is strong. So that's why if you're going for this officer, don't try to just go for their normal skills. Try to go for awakening them rather than just trying to get their normal skills up, because this is the skill that actually makes him shine and differ from different other officers. In today's video, what we're going to be doing, we have two behemoths over here. As you can see, we have basically two testing accounts. The first one, what we're going to do, the first test is that we are going to be doing, we have already this kind of plane over here. We're just going to call it the Super Bomber. We have it at already 140k, almost maxed out, no parts though. But this specific one over here, look at the firepower. It's massive, by the way. So what we're going to do is actually we're going to be like basically having two different pairings for the same officer. We said these pairings before. The first one is going to be Golden Pexi with the new officer, and the second one is going to be El Cartero with the new officer. So we're going to have these two pairings attacking those super heavy units that are on the ground, and we're going to see which one of these pairings are actually best against these super heavies and which one are going to be dealing more damage. I highly suspect that we're going to be taking out these super heavies completely just from one bombing session. I think we'll need more than one bombing sessions, but nevertheless, we're going to be trying out these two combos right now and seeing how much they're going to be effective and what are the results for these combos. Okay, so I just moved these a little bit away from the base just because of the previous test. We had the kind of a fire gun over here, or anti-air force guns started attacking this one, but we have these behemoths ready right now. So let's go ahead and get those planes on the way. So we have the first one going, and then we have the second one going right now. Okay, so the first one was going before that, but that's completely fine. We're gonna see the test results and kind of battle reports after this one finishes up. But as you can see, these ones are already firing up hard right now, and the others are coming up right now. There we go. Okay, so what you're seeing right now from the combos over here is at the top, we have seen Pixie, and at the bottom over here, we are seeing El Carto with the new combo, and that is the nuke over here. Did you see the nuke? That damage, that is massive. We're going to see that one more time over here. So that is the nuke. Look at that massive damage that has been done, actually. So this is basically the total bombings, and surprisingly, they have the same kind of HP. So what we're going to do is actually we're going to try out this test once again. We're going to go ahead and fire those up once again, both of them at the same time. Let's try and do that one more time over here. And there we go. Two flying at the same time. Okay, that's beautiful. So what I'm expecting, what was expecting actually, is to have a little bit more damage done on one side rather than the other. But surprisingly, they didn't do much damage. Okay, so one of the planes are just not shooting for some reason. I believe that would be definitely a bug, because they're just flying around. Okay, now we have the damage dealt. So we're dealing exactly the same amount of damage, which is kind of weird right now. So this is round 2, and as you can see, the HPs are exactly the same. We're using two different officers in the same kind of way, but the same officer stands here. But I think the main difference would be if we have taken that officer out and tried a different combo. So far, these two combos are actually proven to be exactly the same damage. Alright, so let's take a look at the battle reports right now. So we have 25.6 million damage versus 3.62 million damage, which is the officer damage over here. And that before that was the same exact way, but that was the one with the buildings. So that is exactly also the same damage that is being dealt over here. Now, it's kind of weird that both these units dealt the exact same damage, but I think is because of the fact that kind of the what's happening right now is, if I'm not mistaken, so what's happening is actually because we're using Rictus at the same time. So if we were to use, for instance, if we were to change Rictus with a Brisk Eagle right over here and have like a different combo, then there's definitely going to be massive differences between those two. We're definitely going to be trying that out in future videos, but we wanted to display kind of this officer, how does it work out. But so far, looking at this combo right now, it doesn't really make a lot of sense if you're trying to go El Cartero or Golden Pixie difference together, because apparently they deal almost the same amount of damage when they are paired with Rictus. But mainly the main damage dealers being Rictus over here, because he's maxed out, he's dealing that 2500 damage coefficient when he's finishing the bombings. So it's definitely worth going with Rictus over here. I'm still a big believer that Golden Pixie with Rictus are actually pretty strong, but apparently El Cartero did actually prove us a little bit wrong over here, because he's dealing a lot of damage coefficient with this active skill, especially when he's maxed out. He's dealing that like kind of fire as well, setting the targets on fire. It is a percentage where you can actually do that, but he is still actually very, very strong. It's definitely one of the units that are very respectful currently in the meta. So Rictus Reaper, that is basically the full video for him. If you did like this video, maybe throw us a like down there and tell us your thoughts in the comments below about this new officer. How do you find this new officer maxed out, and what pairings do you suggest for me to actually pair him with in future videos, so that we can test those out together and you would know exactly how to play this officer for the best. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll definitely see you on the next one. Bye-bye.